On Wednesday, we got an update from Phasmophobia regarding the progression update that has been delayed, but that's fine. But here's some more information about what's going on. It's the dev preview number 12. Let's get into it. I haven't really looked at it myself, so this is my first impressions. Welcome back. We've got some news for you. Any information and images are work in progress and may change drastically before releasing. I feel like it with a release of mid-August, it probably won't be changing that drastically, but okay. Progression. Here's a breakdown of some of the major progression changes that coming with the update. Experience and money. Experience and money values are now tied. If you earn $100, you'll also be earning 100 HP. Nice and simple. I just realized I have my headphones on. I'm not listening to anything, so that's okay. The amount of money and experience you'll be earning has skyrocketed when compared to the live version of the game. Individual values have been tweaked, like moving the bone out of the reward multiplier, to make the gameplay feel more rewarding and encourage players to complete the main objectives. Oh, really? So the bone is not going to count towards reward multiplier. Interesting. Let's see, here's an image. Find the correct ghost type, cleanse the area near the using special. Yeah, this is a lot more money, but I wonder if, I would imagine that's going to reflect in item costs too. I'm assuming everything's going to cost more money as well. Leveling and prestiging. Each level's required experience increases as you level. That amount increases further the closer you get to level 100. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. For example, you need 100 experience to get from level 1 to 2, but over 5,000 experience to get from 99 to 100. Again, makes sense. It's as you increase in level, it should take more experience to get between levels, at least in my opinion. When you finally reach level 100, you'll be presented with a choice. Continue playing as you are, leveling past 100. Oh, really? Didn't know that was going to be possible. Or any time, you can opt to prestige, resetting your money, level, and equipment. Okay, so yeah, you lose everything at that point. In favor of gaining additional loadout slot. Oh. Additional loadout slot? Not sure what that means. You can't bring as many items? I'm not sure what that means. Okay. A new unique badge and title for your ID card, and a new patch for your player's arm. Consumables. With the equipment system, some items will be labeled consumable in the shop. If one of these items is used at all during the contract, it will be rebought when you return to the lobby. Something like salt, I would assume, or pills or things like that. Some upgrades for consumable items are actually removed and need to rebuy them each time too. Some upgrades for consumable items are actually removed. Okay, so that's interesting. That makes sense. I had when I first started playing Phasmophobia, I thought that if you used the pills during a hunt, that they would be gone. That's not actually the case currently, but it looks like that will be the case going forward. Salt. Some of you may remember in our ultraviolet preview that we mentioned salt specifically, so we thought it was time to dive deeper into some details. Salt could use something. I'm not going to read any further yet, but salt could use something, because really the only use for salt at the moment is to check to see if it's a wraith. That's pretty much it. As you know, with the new ultraviolet changes, salt will become an aid in gathering evidence. If your ghost isn't feeling interactive enough and just won't touch a door or window, you can place some salt and gather footprints instead. Yes, I remember that footprints will count as fingerprints. With equipment upgrades, salt is a little more useful than it was previously. Tier 1 is Ghost Huntin' Salt Shaker. I'm assuming that's the salt that currently exists. It can place 2 piles per canister, or maybe not, because the one that we have can do 3. And you can bring 3 canisters. Oh, okay. You can bring 3 canisters into each contract. The footprints created by stepping in this pile will act the same as the way footprints for that ghost, e.g. example, for Nabaki may leave fewer prints than other ghosts. Okay, so I think you could only bring 2 salt. I'm blanking on it. I think you can only bring 2 salt shakers, but they each have 3 currently. So now you can bring 3 shakers, but they each have 2. So it doesn't really change anything regarding basic salt. And it looks like that's just going to be how it is, basic salt. Tier 2 is a wooden container filled with special pink Himalayan salt. With its larger capacity, you can place 3 piles down. With the larger capacity, you can place 3 piles down, but instead of a small spot, you can place a line of salt, perfect for blocking doorways or corridors. So I'm not sure if that's saying you can just place 3 piles or you can place 3 lines. I'm not entirely sure what they're saying. If it's you can place 3 lines of salt, that's kind of cool. Tier 3 brings a lot more to the table. A glass bottle filled with a custom blend of black salt that has been blessed. If a ghost steps in this during its passive state, it will be repelled back the way it came. Ooh, that could be useful for hunts and stuff. Allowing you to effectively trap a ghost in this room if you place the salt correctly. During the ghost's hunting state, if a ghost passes through this special salt, it will be slowed down considerably for a short time. Ooh, useful for a getaway. This poor Oni didn't stand a chance. It walked through the salt. Yep, it got. Oh, yep, slowed down. I see it. Oh, the level. Okay, to a maximum level of 999 is. So that's the end. That's the end of the thing, huh? That's all we're learning. Yeah. Okay. So if you don't prestige, you can only get to up to level 999, and then you have to prestige. Well, you don't have to prestige, but then you don't gain any more levels. An auto refill button will be added to the loadout screen, so you don't need to manually buy things after every contract. That would be nice. Salt, like I've said before, is relatively useless. It's not useless. It's great for determining whether or not a ghost is a wraith. With this update, salt is much more useful, especially because footprints can count as fingerprints, which wasn't the case before, and until the update remains that the case. And fingerprints is one of the harder ones to get in certain rooms, certain areas of if a ghost spawns in certain rooms, you're just not gonna get fingerprints, even if it is a fingerprint ghost. You just don't get it. So being able to place salt down and get footprints, that's actually really good way to gain evidence. It makes salt, regular salt, much more useful towards just any ghost, not just wraiths. The Himalayan salt is kind of cool. If I'm reading it right, I'm not entirely sure that I'm reading it right, but I guess you can just always, the 3 piles you place are all lines rather than just piles. The wording is kind of ambiguous to me, but I'm gonna assume what they're saying is you can place 3 lines of salt, and that's useful because you can put it in narrow passageways that the ghost has to pass through in order to move to another room, and that's a great way to guarantee prints or determining whether a ghost is wraith. The black salt is great. It's a great other way to counteract the ghost during a hunt. Right now, we only have the options of the crucifix, which doesn't really counteract the ghost during a hunt, but it prevents the hunt, and smudge sticks, which can be used to get yourself 6 seconds of immunity during a hunt. But we don't really have anything else. Like that's all you have, and being able to slow down the ghost could be useful in a situation where you're trying to, say, loop a ghost to determine what it is. Like, say it's an Obaki that you want to see if during the hunt it changes into a different form. You could loop it around in the kitchen, around a kitchen island, and have some of that salt there that will slow it down. And you could use that to your advantage to determine whether a ghost is an Obake using its unique evidence. So yeah, this is a fascinating update. I'm pleased to read about it and pleased to see that salt is getting some love. It's weird to say, but there it is. I'm still looking forward to the progression update in the middle of August, in case you didn't see that announcement. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.